And welcome back. Hey, I absolutely forgot to say a couple of things during the intro. Firstly, congratulations to Sherry and Noel and the team. Of course, they hosted the fourth annual Media Workers Association Awards ceremony, which was on Sunday evening. And congratulations to the entire team. It was a wonderful event. Thoroughly had a good time. And I want to say congrats to all the winners as well. Two folks who have been really contributing to media in Grenada, Mr. Ray Roberts and Ms. Shoma Wells. Of course, they went home with a lovely trophy or, yeah, plaque for their contribution to media in Grenada for over the years. I didn't even know Auntie Shoma used to play lawn tennis. I was like, wow. She's like, oh, you didn't know that, eh? Well, now you know. And of course, I know Mr. Ray Roberts was involved in table tennis. He still is, as a matter of fact. And congratulations to everyone, all the winners and everyone who were part of the celebrations. Yes, Kurt is giving me some updates as I go along. Oh, yes. Who's the first one? Oh, right. So we have two of our homeboys here, our cameramen, who celebrated birthdays. I know Ron's birthday was on Sunday because he celebrated in a big way at the award ceremony. Looked quite dapper. We should have had a photo of Ron, you know. And Leroy's birthday was when, Kurt? Happy belated to Leroy. Last Thursday. Oh, gosh. Leroy, sorry, my boy. I missed that one. But hope both of you had a really good time. I'm sure you did. No questions there. So we are moving on to the next segment on the program. Quite excited to have, I call her Little Lady, and I hope she doesn't mind me calling her Little Lady because she is a little lady, very busy, very ambitious, and doing a phenomenal job as the editor-in-chief of Complex Woman magazine. This magazine is actually an online magazine, and it features and celebrates women of all different shades and sizes. It's wonderful. Actually, Kurt, our cameraman, said, I love it. I love it. He's smiling. And I have with me in studio this morning, finally, is Kered Clement. It's good to see you, my girl.
And thanks for having me,
You're
finally.
welcome. Finally. How have you been? Compliments of the season. How's, you know, typically locally we like to say, how's the season shaping up? How's your season shaping up?
Really lovely, and I decided to take a break from the cold.
Yes.
The bitter cold, which it is right
gosh.
now, and come down to Grenada and have a bit of a relaxing time before the hustle and bustle of Christmas, because Christmas in London is crazy.
It's crazy.
So it's shaping up very nicely.
Very good. And I know you're having a wonderful time with your friends and family.
Definitely.
Currently. How's your mom and your dad?
Lovely, they're good, they're really well.
Good.
And they would be down here too if they could.
I know, just to get away. Carrot, I know we have to talk a lot because when I have Grenadians or persons with Grenadian roots on the program, I like to give viewers a little vibe for who you are and where your roots are embedded, so to speak. Now, I know you're Alpha, right? You attended Alpha
Yes.
Junior School. Good morning, Alpha. You know, my daughter attends Alpha as well.
Lovely.
So good morning to Alpha Junior School. First off, let's talk about life in Grenada, growing up in Grenada for you, even if you want to go way back to Alpha Junior School. Tell me about that.
Well, to be honest, I have terrible memory. So I remember specific things, and the things I remember are getting licks when kids were throwing stones at a bull cow, and everyone in the area got in trouble. So I remember very selective things about going to school here because I was very young.
Right.
And my brother Siva remembers much more than me, to the point where if you ask Siva to put back on his accent, it's like he never left Grenada.
Wow.
So I think I was very young, so I
Yes.
don't remember as much, but
Yeah.
just bits and pieces of going to school here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people even that I went to school with, I recognize their faces, but don't know them too well because we left quite young.
Right.
So yeah.
Good, but it's good to have you back, and I know you have been quite busy with the magazine. Tell me firstly, what made you get involved? Because I know you've attended the Arts University in London,
Yeah.
and clearly a lot when I saw you for the first time. No, I think I remembered you when you were a little tiny tot, but when I saw you and the work that you did, I thought this young woman was made to get involved in this type of field of work.
Thank
What
you.
made you want to get involved in it? I mean, any sort of inspirations or anything growing up that may have triggered something? What made
Well,
you want to do
actually,
it?
going back to kind of growing up in Grenada, when I was last here, I met my nanny. And one of the things she said to me was that every time we had a kind of playgroup session, I would organise the kids in rows. I'd organise what their roles were, what they would do. And that's something that followed through and that I do now,
Right.
and I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So kind of running my own business or setting up my own business was going to happen, especially being around my parents doing that, you know, running the salon. I was heavily involved in taking the money from clients, sweeping the hair, and I really enjoyed it. So from a young age, there was this strong work ethic and want to kind of run a business. So actually developing Complex Woman magazine came from my kind of feeling a bit alienated from publications that were available in London. I'm a magazine fanatic. I collect magazines. I have stacks and stacks of magazines. And as I grew up and learned a lot more about my culture and identity and the fact that I had grown up in Grenada and grown up in the UK, I had a strong connection to my cultural heritage. I felt like really alienated from those pages. And I felt that in such a diverse society like London, there needed to be a publication that you could look through and see representations of yourself as well, and not just a very generic image of women, what we should look like, what our likes and dislikes are. So it was that yearning to see diversity in publications and just to also represent the woman of today who travels much more, who's much more curious about other cultures and countries. And I mean, the solo female traveller amazes me, just that people pack their bags, travel somewhere on their own and just go and to learn and infiltrate themselves into a community. And that's the type of woman I feature. That's a complex woman. And there's a lot to learn from that type of woman because a lot of the things she sees and experiences, the stories are amazing. So it was really just kind of having a publication that was a representation of all women.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I must commend you because I was just saying just before we went on that the lovely thing about the publication is that it's just so real, it's so genuine, you know, and it's women from all parts of the world sharing their pains, their joys, celebrating other women. It's just really, it's a fantastic publication, and I think I'm just looking at some things on the screen with the fashion. Tell me a little bit about your love for fashion.
Well, I went the University of Arts. There are 5 different colleges, and I went to London College of Fashion. And initially, I was very interested in the fashion industry. I used to sketch designs actually, and I had the sketchbook, and I was adamant that I was going to work for a fashion house and design my own clothes. And I kind of dabbled in various areas of fashion, even styling and art direction as well. And but writing has always been something that I've enjoyed doing. I used to write poems when I was very young as well. So creating a creative fashion and lifestyle publication was a perfect combination of all those things, and it came together very nicely as well, being able to produce a document, a publishable document, art direct fashion shoots, interview people in the fashion industry, as well as interview women and talk about their real life stories. That's something I'm really interested in, and it's something that the fashion industry didn't allow me to grasp, the realness of it, the raw and real women and what they experience. Sometimes experiences I had in the fashion industry were a bit on the surface, and sometimes it can be a bit fickle. And if that doesn't suit your personality, it is a challenge when you're networking with those types of people. So creating Complex Woman magazine was a perfect balance of meeting real women, hearing about what they have to say, and really, I mean, a lot of my interviews, they last up to 2-3 hours, and I have the task of transcribing these 2-hour interviews. But it's amazing to hear the things they say, how much they open up in the interview, and being able to share that with women around the world through this publication. And a lot of the women that I've suggested to you to interview.
Oh, yeah, thank you, by the way.
There's so much that you can learn from these women, which is why it's not focused on celebrity. It's not that I wouldn't feature a celebrity on the cover. They have to be very exceptional. But it's the fact that moving away from celebrity culture, there are women who go through things in life that other women may not have gone through yet, or may eventually go through, and there's something to learn from them, because their honesty, for example, Rachel, who you featured on the show, very heavily, you know, passionate about her family, and I'm sure she won't mind me saying, you know, recently she went through quite a bitter divorce, and she is very vocal about it as well, about the things she's learned. So interviewing her was amazing, and hearing her story, speaking to her and interviewing her even after what she'd gone through and how she'd changed. That's the type of stories that I feature in Complex Women. And a lot of people will look through the publication and there will always be a story that they can connect to or learn something from.
So true. And I think it's so crucial in life that, you know, yes, we love the fashion, we love the glam, we love all of that, but we like to know that there is a deeper interior that's covered by that shell. And I think people like to look through the pages and say, I'm going through the same thing.
Exactly, and I've had, that's what, a lot of the feedback I get is, gosh, I really understood what she was talking about. I've been through the same thing. Or wow, she was really honest, and it was interesting to find out about what this woman's gone through. And that's why the covers of Complex Women are now very stripped back. I've stripped away the heavily airbrushed kind of covers, heavily made up covers, and just focused on raw and real. Not because, you know, we don't promote makeup or anything like that, but just because it's different. Everyone else is doing something very specific in that all the covers are looking the same, the women look the same. So why not celebrate the natural beauty of women?
Absolutely, and it can get a little boring when everything's
the same.
You know what I mean?
It can.
Folks, I'm chatting with Kered Clement. Of course, we have lots more to share with you right here, right after the break. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We are continuing with my long overdue chat with Ms. Kered Clement. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Kered.
Kered. And I know this is actually your dad's name.
Backwards.
The other way around.
Yes.
And for folks who are probably saying, well, okay, who's her dad? Who's her mom? Many of you may have remembered one of the top salons on the island, Derek and Avis Clement's hair salon on the island. I remember them way back. I remember your dad did my hair for a fashion show. Oh my gosh. He was so, you know, so colorful and so excited. And he's like, we're going to do this for you and you're going to look fabulous. And thank you, sir. It was just wonderful meeting both of them.
The hilarious thing about Dad is that he can't do my hair.
Really?
He cannot do my hair for the life of him. Like, Mum could do my hair very well, obviously. But he's attempted it and never again.
I wonder why.
But he's scissor happy, that's why.
Yeah.
So he loves to chop, so.
He loves to chop, eh?
He does, yeah. Which is why.
But it's so great to have you back here. And I mean, could you, if you can, I know this is probably a tough question most of the times when I ask people, but do you have any recollections of one of the most touching interviews you've ever had?
Oh, wow, definitely.
Yeah.
There have been loads, but the most amazing woman, and I've built such a strong relationship with her, is Kim Barrow, First Lady of Belize.
Yeah, I could have guessed that.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, I interviewed Miss Barrow while she was having treatment for breast cancer. And it was just a really surreal moment in that, obviously being human, you think, what could happen? What could be the outcome? And here I was interviewing her and waiting on her emails, because we did the interview over email, and she was going through kind of chemotherapy, but she was still very keen to do the interview and keen to share her story and talk about the fact that, you know, I lived such a healthy life. I did the right things, I ate the right food, but still, why did this happen to me? But at the same time, there was such kind of hope and positivity. I experienced just, you know, how having her nation behind her, the nation of Belize, kind of encouraged her, having the support of her husband, having, you know, being strong for her daughter. And I just learned so much about her. And eventually that led to me meeting her in Belize. And, you know, going through all of that, it was almost like this woman was young again in a way that, you know, she wanted to do so many things. She wants to explore so much things creatively. She has this spirit about her and that she's amazing to be around. and she came to London and we spent time together again, and that's what's amazing about what I do with the magazine, in building these relationships with these women. And there are many other women, but that's one particular situation in that, you know, even, she's not celebrity, but she's celebrity in belief.
Yes.
She's a woman that's very well respected, and it was almost, you know, meeting her was almost like just two old friends meeting.
Yeah.
And we're from completely different generations, but we really enjoy each other's company and getting to know each other from completely different backgrounds and everything. So that's what's amazing, in that people can share really their deepest thoughts, their fears, and for me to be able to publish that in a publication, to share that with a lot more other women, I'm really honoured most of the time. When people say I'm honoured to be featured in Complex Woman, I'm like, I'm honoured to interview you. So that's a nice experience, and doing this publication, I'm able to do a lot more than if I took the route of working in an in-house publication.
Right.
And a lot of people did say, you know, you should assist, you should intern, you should. And I thought, hang on, I feel like I can do this myself.
There you go.
There's still a lot to learn. I'm not saying I know everything, but at the same time, I've had ups and downs. I've learned the hard way, and by learning the hard way and being self-taught, I'm prepared. When plan A doesn't go well, there's plan B in place. And I'm prepared for the pitfalls and the ups and downs that come with running a business.
And on the topic of running your own business, how difficult was it to start up?
Very challenging. It's a massive challenge, but the key to setting up a business is planning. A lot of people just think that Complex Woman launched, boom, there it was. That's how it appeared to be, but there was at least a year to 6 months worth of planning behind it, and even a longer thought process, because it came from even me being from the age of 13, wanting to see this type of publication and waiting for it to be on the shelves in the newsagents, but never seeing it and thinking, hang on, this is something that I should do. I conceptualized it at university, and I held on to it, and I thought, I'm still not seeing this. I'm just going to do it. And a lot of people said, oh no, you know. But I think planning and deciding to publish it digitally, online, was more accessible, and is so relevant right now. Digital publishing is very relevant. It reached a much larger audience than I expected it to. And it was no longer something that I was passionate about. It was something that, hang on, I'm publishing to people worldwide. I've got to be very conscious of what I publish, how I write, the message, and who it may affect. So it was a massive learning curve. But as I said, plan, business plan, step by step. That's the best way to go about things, because things may change along the way, but there's always something to refer back to or go back to.
So, and the publication is just about 3 years old now?
3 years old.
3 years old.
And
Congratulations.
another good thing also about setting up a business is having a mentor. My mentor is Leon Ventor. He's actually my uncle and godfather.
Right.
But when we sit down to discuss Complex Woman magazine, it's business. I'm very creative, and he's always encouraging me to put my business hat on. So having a mentor is really important to guide you through the process if you're not as strong in certain areas.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Would you like to be a complex woman? You are a complex woman already, but on the other side of the fence, what if someone says, okay, well, I want to do a feature on you? How would you feel about that?
I have had people ask. I have been asked. Recently, I was asked to join a panel discussion about a documentary that was shown on Oprah's own network in the US. It's called Dark Girls, and it's about colorism, which is basically prejudices within your own race. So shadeism. So giving preference to someone who may be a lighter shade. And I was asked to speak about my experiences, and it was really interesting because I came from a completely different perspective in that it was on the opposite side of people enforcing their prejudices on you and thinking that you should feel superior because you look a certain way. So many occasions in different instances where people look at the publication and think, you obviously have a complex thought process, so it would be interesting to get your opinion on things. So that happens often. People ask to interview me or ask my opinion of things. And a lot of people say, why complex? You know, why did you call it that? That's so negative. Or they'll say, oh yeah, women are complex. But the reason I coined the name complex woman is that one of the meanings of being complex is that you're hard to categorize.
Right.
And you cannot categorize my readers. Initially I said they're going to be 18 to 35. They are as young as you like, as old as you like.
Absolutely,
Yep. And initially I said that they were going to be located, you know, here in the UK. They're in the US. They're in Cook Islands. They're in Yemen, which just amazes me. Like, they're all over the world. And, you know, they're diverse. They're from different heritages, and they may live in cosmopolitan cities or have a strong connection to their cultural heritage. I cannot categorize these women.
Not at all, not at all. Before we wrap up, what's in store for Complex Woman for the future?
So at the moment we're working on the travel issue, which is an exciting feature on Belize in particular, which is very diverse and epitomizes complex woman because it's so many different cultures, languages and religions living alongside each other. So we're working on the travel issue, and we're really trying to kind of diversify the platforms that, you know, you can access complex. So working on developing an app, developing more video content, so really making it a lot more interactive. Yes.
Sounds fantastic. Kered, it was so much pleasure. I'm actually excited for you. And I want you to keep doing what you're doing, representing women everywhere. And folks, if you haven't visited the website, tell us your website address, please, so we can have our viewers check it out.
Yes, so it's www.complexedwoman.co.uk, and our Facebook page is Complexed Magazine.
Can't miss it. Fantastic. I want you to enjoy the rest of your stay in Grenada. Have fun.
Thank
I know you know how to have fun.
Yes.
So continue to have fun.
Thank you.
And it was truly an honor having you
Thanks
here
for having me.
Give my regards to Mom and Dad.
I will do.
Please, folks. Certainly hope you've enjoyed the program today. Thank you so much to Ms. Sandra James for stopping by. Also, Ms. Dawn Mark and the lovely Kered. Thank you so much. Remember to tune in on Thursday. We've got something special coming your way on Thursday. Junior Murray stops by as he's going to discuss the launch of his cricket academy, in addition with some great entertainment. We've got some great entertainment. It's that time. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and we're going to get you in the mood for Christmas 2013. Have a blessed day. Stay positive. We'll see you on Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.